Imagine you wake up tomorrow morning and discover something strange. Your phone is not working, your messages are not there, your maps doesn't work. You have to pay for all these things. Shocking. Today, you can watch videos, scroll social media, listen to music, store photos, order food, book a cab, and even learn a new language. And then you realize you didn't pay for most of these things. You downloaded them for free, not even $1. So here's the question. If millions of people are using an app without paying anything, how does the company behind it make money? Because servers aren't free, engineers aren't free, data centers aren't free, electricity isn't free, and shareholders definitely aren't working for free. So when an app tells you, download for free, you should ask, free for whom? Because in modern economics, free doesn't necessarily mean there is no price. Sometimes it simply means you are not paying the price with money. And that is where the strange economics of free apps begins.
Imagine two apps. App A costs $10. App B costs $0. Even before you know anything about them, most people will try App B first. Why? Because humans don't treat zero like a normal price. There is no financial risk. You can download it, try it, delete it, try something else. And companies discovered something extraordinary. Getting the user through the door can be more valuable than charging them at the door. That's why many modern businesses don't begin with, how much can we charge this person? They begin with, how many people can we get to use this? And once millions of people are using the product, the money can come from somewhere else.
You open an app. You don't pay. But suddenly, there's an advertisement. A shoe appears. A food delivery offer appears. A new phone appears. A travel company wants your attention. And that advertisement is paying for your free experience. But there's something fascinating here. Advertisers don't really want to buy advertisements. They want to buy attention. Imagine two billboards. One stands beside an empty road. The other stands in front of a stadium where 50,000 people are watching a match. Both are advertisements. But clearly, the second one is more valuable. Apps took this idea and made it much more powerful. Because unlike a roadside billboard, an app can potentially learn what you search for, what videos you watch, what products you click, what topics interest you, how long you stay, and which advertisements you respond to. So the app isn't simply selling advertising space. It is selling access to an audience. And this leads to one of the strangest concepts in modern economics: network effects. A phone is useful because other people have phones. A messaging app is useful because your friends use it. A social network is useful because the people you want to interact with are already there. The more people join, the more useful the platform becomes. And the more useful it becomes, the more people want to join. It's a loop. More users, more value, more users, more value. This is why some companies are willing to spend enormous amounts of money acquiring users. They aren't necessarily thinking, how much money will this person make us today? They're thinking, what happens if this person brings another 5 people?
But advertisements aren't the only answer. There's another model you've probably experienced. It's called freemium. The basic product is free, but the really useful features are locked behind a paywall. Imagine an app saying, congratulations, you can use our service for free. Then, you want unlimited storage? $199. Remove advertisements? $299. Advanced features? $499. Premium version? $999. And suddenly, the free product becomes a giant funnel. millions enter. Most never pay, but a small percentage do. Suppose an app has 10 million users. If 95% never pay, that sounds terrible. But 5% is still 500,000 paying customers. If those customers spend $1,000 a year, that's 50 crores in annual revenue. And the other 9.5 million users?
They helped create the scale, publicity, network effects, and word of mouth that made the product attractive. Now we reach the part that makes the entire story even stranger. Sometimes the product isn't really the app. Think about a free service that connects millions of people. What does the company gain? It gains a huge amount of information about how people use the service. Search behavior, preferences, clicks, interactions, location information, depending on permissions and settings, device information, usage patterns. But here's an important distinction. It is usually misleading to say, the company simply sells your personal data. The actual business models are often more complicated. Companies can use information to improve products, personalize experiences, target advertising, measure campaigns, detect fraud, and make recommendations. And that creates a new economic resource: data. Data is valuable because it can be collected, analyzed, and used to make decisions.
Now imagine you have an app with 100 million users. Your biggest problem isn't necessarily money. It's how long can I keep people here? Because every additional minute can create another opportunity for an advertisement, a recommendation, a purchase, a subscription, or another interaction. And this creates what economists and researchers often call the attention economy. Human attention is limited. There are only 24 hours in a day. You cannot create another billion hours of human attention. So companies compete for the limited attention people have. That means your attention has economic value. Think about the last time you opened an app for just 5 minutes, and then somehow 30 minutes disappeared. That wasn't necessarily an accident.
Modern apps are incredibly good at reducing friction. Swipe, scroll, next, refresh, recommended video, another video, another notification. The easier it is to continue, the harder it can be to stop. And that's where the economics becomes connected to psychology. The product may be free because your attention is the scarce resource. Here's the biggest twist. In a traditional shop, the relationship is simple. You walk in, you choose a product, you pay. You are the customer. But in a free app, there may be 3 different groups: the user, the advertiser, the platform. And the user and the person paying the bill may not be the same person. Imagine a television channel. You watch it for free. An advertiser pays the channel to reach you. The same logic moved onto smartphones. But digital platforms can make the relationship much more sophisticated. The platform tries to maximize the value of the connection between users and advertisers. So you might not be the customer in the traditional sense. You might be the audience, and the advertiser might be the paying customer. That's why the phrase, if you're not paying, you're the product. So the next time you download an app and see free, immediately ask, how much does this cost? Because the most successful digital businesses discovered something extraordinary. They didn't have to convince billions of people to open their wallets. They only had to convince billions of people to open their phones. If you like this bizarre economic content, don't forget to like this and subscribe our channel.